Hey there, Griff Hamlin here from Blues Guitar Unleashed. Welcome, thanks for joining me. In today's video, we're going to talk about something, this is just one of my favorite moves, tricks, hacks, whatever you want to call it, to make a basic blues scale sound more interesting. Now, of course, this is something that, sometimes would be in your lick, right? And I hear, this always reminds me of Eric Clapton and Gary Moore. They are the two guys, Walter Trout is the third. They are the three players that I hear use this a lot. And Rory Gallagher as well. I guess this is maybe leans a little more towards the blues rock side of things. Those players tend to use this a lot. But it's this idea of this little turn, or I sometimes call it a tweedly. I think its official classical term is a mordant. I may or may not have that right. If I'm wrong, I'm sure y'all will let me know. And all I'm doing is from, the pentatonic scale, this works so good because we have two notes on each string, right? Right, here's box one, or box two, or box three, right? It doesn't even matter which box. That's the cool thing. As I play down, every time I get to the lower of the two notes, I'll just do a hammer-on back to the other note and a pull-off back. So instead of 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, right, literally just walking down the scale, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Now, of course, there's a little bit of a trick to it. A teensy bit of a trick, right? Which is you got to try to keep that turn or that tweedly or whatever you want to call it, you got to try to keep it even with the tempo. So when I'm going really slow, right, I could go, and that would be okay, but I don't really like the sound of it. I prefer to try and keep things even. However, let's say I pick up the tempo, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. When I do that, it's going to kind of basically be as fast as I can go. It's going to be perfect. And I find that more often than not, as fast as I can do it is what's going to fill that space. It usually just kind of works out for itself. So as I play, right, I'm just thinking about going down. And I'm putting it in. If I do it on the second box, right, I can even walk down. And I can, depending on how well you know your scales, right, and I can do a little bit than whatever I'm doing right after it. I don't have to, necessarily stay in that world, but for every lick that you have, right, or every lick that you ever learn, right, there's a very, very simple lick. A 1, a 2, and a 3, and a 4. 1, a 2, and a 3, and a 4. Right? I can just throw that in. 1. You see, it just goes in there. Maybe not so good. It's not always going to work. And obviously, you'll have to try it out for yourself. It's going to depend kind of on what beat things fall on, and occasionally you might play something and go, yeah, I don't like that. Good, then don't do that anymore. Just find a way. Don't feel like, oh, it didn't work that time. No, it's probably, sometimes it's not going to work, but most of the time it's going to work. And if you've ever done, I have a little trick, a little thing that I like to teach where you play the pentatonic scale with one string, right? So like if I'm playing A minor pentatonic scale, right, I just play all of the notes. And so it kind of helps me see the boxes, right? These two are box 1. This is shared between the 2. This is shared between 2 and 3, shared between 3 and 4, between 4 and 5, shared between 5 and 1. Well, I can just go down that way. So what if I'm playing like in box 4? And I can do that. Something, yeah, again, this is one of those things that it's just something to kind of play around with. There's not a specific lick that does this. You have to just take one of the licks that you know. I could take any of the licks out of the Blues Guitar Unleashed course. There's dozens of them, and probably all of the dozens except maybe 4 licks, you could probably stick this in there. I mean, think about how often you just take a scale and go down. Even if I'm doing like a pattern, right? I can just throw it in there. It just kind of falls out once you get the hang of it. Start, simple, just playing your boxes down, add those in. As you get more comfortable, take a lick that you know that has a descending portion. Maybe it's written down, you might have to, make yourself a little note or something, but just try to throw it in there and see if you like the sound of it. It's a really, really cool idea. And it just adds so much, especially if the lick's a little bit slower and, it's just walking down the scale. So why not give it some interest while you're doing it? It's a really, really great way. It makes it sound like you're playing fast, but you're not. You're not really doing anything super much faster than you would normally do. You're just adding that little tweedly, mordant, or turn, or whatever it is that you want to call it. It's just a great way to add a lot of excitement and a lot of interest to existing licks. So play around with it, give it a shot. As always, if you have guitar playing friends that you think might benefit from this video, I hope you will share it with them. I'm Griff Hamlin from Blues Guitar Unleashed, and I will talk to you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.